have some, don't feel shy. You use me, played me, treat me like a fool. I know you like me, why you acting?
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series, we're going to be going over Saturn in the houses, okay? Saturn in the houses, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about the 10th house, okay? So having Saturn in your 10th house. And before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys to check out my music video. If you enjoyed the video that came before, in the beginning of this video, that's my music video. Definitely check it out. I really appreciate that. All right, so Saturn in the 10th house. So before we get into that, let's just dissect what Saturn is and what the 10th house is. So Saturn in astrology, this is the planet of discipline, responsibility, structure, labor, hard work, career. Okay, Saturn's trying to build you. It's trying to give you structure. It's actually trying to make you successful. And Saturn a lot of times is seen as, you know, a lot of people have negative relationships with Saturn. Because Saturn's challenging. Saturn's like the coach, you know, the coach that makes you run laps, that makes you do push-ups, makes you do all this stuff. That is Saturn, okay? Because Saturn's trying to discipline you. We can't be as successful as we can. We can't have all these accomplishments without hard work, okay? Without discipline. You know, these are the tools that we use. So Saturn represents that in our reality. So whatever Saturn is in your chart, it's going to represent where you need discipline, where you need structure, and when you're getting that. And those challenges can sometimes, you know, be difficult, but it's nothing that you can't handle. And when you do handle it, you level up. So Saturn rules your career. Think about your career. It's the big project you're here to do. It's the job that makes you the most money. It's the job that puts you in the most powerful position. This is Saturn. You know, you work hard, you build, you'll get a career, you'll get a big job, you'll be successful, okay? That's what Saturn's here trying to do, so don't be discouraged, okay? And that's Saturn. And the 10th house, okay? The 10th house is actually ruled by Capricorn, which Saturn rules Capricorn. So Saturn is actually at home in the 10th house, okay? The 10th house deals with your career, your public reputation, okay, the discipline that you're given in this world, what you're working and building on, your big projects, your career, all of this is the 10th house. And the 10th house is going to be very disciplined. So it's the same thing as Saturn. You're going to get lots of obstacles, you're going to get challenges, but it's all to build you, okay? And when you do this work, whatever work it is that you're here to do, okay, 10th house represents that big work, that career, that purpose. Whatever it is you're meant here to do, you put the work, you put the discipline in it, Saturn will reward you with success, with money, with stability, okay? And lots of great recognition, okay? And power, and it will give you power. So that is the 10th house, okay? It's the highest point actually of our chart. So it really represents reaching the top of the mountain, you know? All right, so with that being said, the first thing I can say about Saturn and 10th house people is, especially in the beginning of your lives, because you'll have to get used to it, you're going to feel lots of restrictions when it comes to accomplishments, okay, and rewards. Like Saturn and 10th house people, you're going to feel, especially in the beginning of your life, like you fail a lot. Okay, I'm just going to put it point blank out there. You're going to feel like you're not able to accomplish the things you want. You're going to feel like you're not successful in things that you do, okay? Because Saturn in the 10th house, it deals with practicality. So it's a very hands-on physical work, but also tangible practical things. So you're going to feel like you just don't accomplish a lot of things. You fail at a lot of things, okay? Maybe in the beginning of school, you know, you were getting bad grades, you know, and the teachers were always, you know, reprimanding you and you weren't getting as good grades, you know, maybe like in your family dynamic, you know, you got the worst grades or, you know, it was hard for you to, you know, accomplish things the way your other siblings did. So you felt like a failure in some type of way or inadequate. It can also be like, you know, maybe in sports or in athletics, like you're always the last or, you know, you're not as good as the other kids. Like there's going to be a lot of things that you feel like you can't accomplish, you know, a lot of things that you fail at, a lot of things that you're not good at. And in return, it's going to make you super ambitious. Okay, all these failures, all these lack of accomplishments, you're seeing people get rewards, you're seeing this person get A's, and you're struggling with this and you're struggling with that. A lot of things that you're struggling with, a lot of practical things that you're struggling with. This in return is going to give you that ambition to want to overcome this. But in the beginning, it's going to feel like you just fail at a lot of things. Like, what am I good at? Okay, Saturn 10th house is a big question. Like, what am I good at? You know, and all these things that you quote unquote fail at, which is, it's not really failure. It's more so, you know, making mistakes and seeing where you're weak at and seeing where you can strengthen your weaknesses. Okay, so you got to put in the work. Okay, this is the 10th house and this is Saturn. But yes, in your early life, you're going to feel lots of restrictions. You're going to feel like you don't accomplish a lot of things, and you're going to fail and maybe make lots of mistakes in a lot of things. And Saturn loves this, okay? Saturn loves dealing with like mistakes and failures because it's your opportunity to strengthen those. That's what Saturn wants you to do. It wants you to strengthen your weaknesses. You know, it wants you to put work into the things that you do, discipline yourself, practice. So yes, you're going to feel lots of failures and like you can't accomplish things, but that in return is going to give you the ambition to overcome these obstacles and to work hard on them to do that, okay? The reason why Saturn 10th house people later in life accomplish so much is because not only are they feel like failures in the beginning of their lives, but they also feel like it's taking a toll on how people are viewing them. So their reputation, their image, and that is going to motivate you to want to change that. Who wants a bad reputation? You know, so again, that's Saturn putting the pressure on you to be conscious of your reputation, conscious of your self-worth and what you're here to do. So again, not only restrictions with the accomplishments, but also your reputation. A lot of Saturn 10th house people are very insecure. Well, in the beginning, once they don't get a grasp of it, they can be very insecure about their reputation. They can be very concerned about how people are viewing them. Am I good enough? Am I good enough? This is why they really want to be successful later in life. Okay? Saturn works that way. You know, you're failing a lot in the beginning, but all those failures and those mistakes and those bumps on the road are actually steps to do better in order for you to track your weaknesses, in order for you to discipline yourself and get better. Okay, so that's how Saturn works. So yes, your reputation is going to be a big deal here. And with that being said, career hungry, okay? Saturn 10th house people are career hungry, okay? They're tired of the failures. They're tired of not accomplishing enough. They're tired of people viewing them as people who aren't anything. No, that's why their career is such a big deal for them, because not only do they want to be good at what they're doing, but they also want people to know like, hey, I am successful. I am good at what I do. I can accomplish a lot. You know, I can be very successful. I can change the game. So very career hungry. Saturn 10th house is one of the most ambitious people. These people are going to put in the work. And this race is a long race. You know, it's more of a marathon, but definitely career hungry, very ambitious people. These people do not stop until they get what they want. Okay, all these, you know, obstacles in the beginning of their life is literally their driving force that keeps them going. Saturn in the 10th house, this placement creates a very hard-working, disciplined, responsible, resilient person. Okay, especially resilience, okay, because we all fall down, you know, but the thing that makes Saturn 10th house so successful is how resilient they are. These people, their mentality, they come with the mentality that you can't accomplish anything without hard work. You know, unlike other placements, people can be more optimistic and like, oh, I can just gain this, I can just get this, I can just attract this. But Saturn and 10th house people, they're so used to practicing. People aren't afraid to start huge projects. The reason is because they're not afraid to go through the struggle. They're so used to working hard and struggling before they become successful, before they master something, before they become good at something. they're so used to having to put so much work into it. Saturn 10th house doesn't make anything easy. So all the things you want to do, you got to put work into it. And this causes strong resilience, okay? They can handle anything. They're not afraid of huge projects because they have the discipline, they have the patience, and they're willing to put in the consistency and the hard work into whatever they're doing. This is why Saturn 10th house are very great workers, very hard workers. These people can handle the toughness. They don't get discouraged because they fall down 8 times. They keep getting back up. So it's just in their soul, it's in their blood to work hard before anything works out. You know, so with that mentality, these people can accomplish anything. You know, they're going to have the highest discipline. They're going to put in the most work. They're going to be the most consistent. They're going to keep working on something that you think that it's not going to happen. They're going to be ones to do it because they have that high resilience. They're not afraid of the pain and the obstacles and the challenges that they have to go through in order to be successful. People with this mentality can be the most successful because they can put in the most work, the most consistency, and they have the most discipline. Great thing to say about Saturn in 10th house people, I love to say, is slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race, okay? Saturn is at home here in the 10th house, okay? They like a slow race. They like a grind. They like you working step by step by step by step, making it to the top, okay? Because Saturn isn't all about that overnight success, okay? That's like Jupiter, that's like Venus, you know, that quick, you know, success, you know, you just gain it. As Saturn likes time, okay? Because it takes time to build your career, okay? 10th house, it takes time to get there. It takes time to really reap the benefits of your 10th house, okay? You really reap the benefits during your first Saturn return. But with the 10th house, it wants that slow race because it wants to prepare you for what success and what position you're going to be in. And you need training. You don't just become the best person, you know, just waking up and doing. You got to train. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the hours. Okay, and that takes time. So with Saturn in 10th house, you got to think of it like a marathon. You got to think of it like a long distance run. That is Saturn, okay? And Saturn's at home here at the 10th house. So everything is done slowly but surely. And this is so good because once you pass that level, you've mastered that level, okay? You know, slow but surely. So you really confirm the success that you get because you truly mastered what you needed to in order to get it. Whereas other planets, they can kind of push you there, but once you're there, you don't know what to do, or you lose all that success because you don't have the discipline, okay, that the Saturn person had. The Saturn in 10th person had the discipline. You know, that's very, very important because a lot of people have fast wins, but they also go away very quickly too. Saturn's not going to do that. Saturn's all about longevity. So slowly but surely you will win the race. And also Saturn's about maturity. The 10th house is about maturity. You don't get to that's why careers are associated when you're older, okay? Because it takes a maturity to figure out what your purpose is here for, and so that once you get in that top, you're staying there. You're not going anywhere. Saturn 10th house people, when you become successful, it's long term, it's forever. It never goes away. It's something you've worked really hard for. You know every area about the business, whatever it is you do, you know everything about it. You have it for life. It's longevity, okay? Saturn 10th house is very underdog energy. Very much underdog energy, okay? This is the person who is like, sucked at sports, whatever, and then kept training and becomes, you know, an athlete, a professional athlete. Like Saturn 10th house is that type of energy. It's the underdog energy. And underdogs, when they become successful, it's always such a huge success because they had to work hard to get up there. So they take everything seriously. They master everything. Once they get into that position, they are in full control because they have so much discipline, so much work, and even humbleness, okay? Also with Saturn in 10th house, your Saturn returns are intense. Okay, Saturn is at home here, so it gets to truly be Saturn in its full form. And once you reach your Saturn return, you get lots of obstacles and pressure in order to sustain your reality and to have a career and to level up and have a big job and enter this adulthood. Okay, so a lot of responsibilities dealing with, your health, your money, your lifestyle, all of that starts pushing at high pressure in your Saturn return because you're transitioning to this real adulthood. You're about to be 30, you're in your late 20s, you're going to your 30s. So a lot of these responsibilities and pressures are put onto you in your Saturn return. So be mindful of that Saturn 10th house, people. You're going to feel that strong push for your career when you get into that Saturn return. Also with Saturn in 10th house, this is a placement that manifests management careers. It doesn't matter what it is. You should be managing. You should be a boss. You should be owning. You should be CEOing. Like, you should be on top with Saturn in 10th house. Okay, Saturn in 10th house wants you to be a boss. This is boss energy. And being with that you are a Saturn 10th house person, you've dealt with a lot of oppression. You've dealt with a lot of people controlling you, people saying you're not as good, as you think you are. You're dealing with these failures. You're dealing with this lack of, accomplishments. So all of that energy, like I said, wants you to have a strong career, but also in a position where you're the boss. And this is what a career brings you to. You can have a regular 9-to-5 job, but what really differentiates the difference between, the 9-to-5 and a career is, one, a career is really your purpose. 9-to-5 could just be what you're doing to maintain. But a career also puts you in a power position. So most of the times you're going to be a manager, you're going to be a CEO, you're going to be in these boss positions. You're going to own your business. Saturn 10th house people, you have to be a boss. Okay, plain and simple. And you're going to want that, and regardless, you're going to have the ambition to be a boss. But this is a position that manifests boss, manifests managers, manifests people who are in charge of everything. They run the system. That is Saturn 10th house people, okay? Saturn wants you to be a boss. Saturn wants you to be powerful. So you're not going to have that, it's not really a placement to, be a worker who's taking lots of direction from people. That is not really going to be your career unless there's things aspecting and stuff like that. But overall, Saturn 10th house, it makes you want to control, want to have complete power and control. And that's how you reach to the top. And with all the things you're learning, all the practical skills, all the obstacles you go through, you gain enough skills, gain enough knowledge and skills and talents to be on top. To be that boss, to be that manager, you got to see the big picture, the big blueprint. If you think about your work areas and the manager might not be, skillful at every little detail, but they've kind of dipped their hands in every department to kind of get the bigger picture in order to manage. Okay, if you want to manage everything, you got to know how everything is working. That's the only way you can. So, yes, you become a boss with this type of placement, but it's also because of all the work you've put in through your life. You've mastered so many skills. You put so many work into so many skills. Saturn 10th house will have you picking up lots of practical skills. And with all these things that you've learned, you amass enough knowledge and skill sets to be a boss. The last thing I can say about Saturn 10th house is that very successful people, this is a placement that manifests success, okay? Strong legacy. Saturn 10th house people, they're not really concerned about fame. It's not, people can talk about the 10th house like it's a fame house because it deals with your public reputation, what people know you for. But Saturn in the 10th house people, this kind of combination humbles you a lot, and you put so much value into the work that you do that you're not really concerned about the image. You're just more concerned about your work and whether it's successful, whether it's out there. It doesn't matter about the superficial fame because in order to get that, you got to put in the work. So it gives you more of a serious attitude. But whatever it is you do, you know, you're going to be very successful at it. You're such hard workers. You're so ambitious. You're so consistent. You're so resilient. Saturn in 10th house, this manifests successful people, very successful. You're going to make lots of money, okay, with this placement, okay? So that is Saturn in the 10th house. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you did, book a reading with me. I do astro readings as well as tarot. You can email me. We could go forward with that. Also, check out my music and my videos. All of that will be in the link in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.